A very good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss about the software testing life cycle. Okay, this is a lecture of software testing certification for second BTech AML students of SITRC Nashik. See, coming to the testing life cycle, the whole process involved in the testing phase of software is development is known as a software testing life cycle. So it will start from the requirement review or study and gathering analysis to test closure. So the various phases involved in it are test initiation, test design, test execution, defect management, and finally test closure. Okay. So what is requirement? So for the software testing, we need to have certain requirements. So for that requirements, we will use either waterfall model or V model. In waterfall model, after received the requirement of documents, the testing team has to study or review the requirements. All the team members, which include test lead, test manager, will be part of requirement study depending upon the team formation. During the requirement study, the ambiguities will be raised by the testing team and the same will be shared with the business analyst or corresponding person for the response. If the business analyst is not sure on the answers for those ambiguities, business analyst will forward the questions to the customer. Then the customer will give the actual requirements if they are unable to find that queries. Okay. So this document should be visible and accessible to all stakeholders of the project. Based on the clarification, if there is any changes is need to be done, then business analyst will update the SRS or BRD and share the same with the entire team. For example, if we are using a V model, the testing team will be working along with the other teams from the starting of the project. Testing team would be involved in requirements gathering and analysis, unlike waterfall model. Okay, testing team will be involving. Whereas in the waterfall model, who is involving? The involving members are test lead, okay, test manager, business analyst, okay, like that. But here testing team will be involved in requirements of gathering and analysis, okay, in V model. Also concurrently the testing would validate the requirements and raise any defects related to the requirements captured in BRD or SRS. Okay. So next is test initiation. In this test initiation, the first one is the estimation. Based on the requirements of the analysis or study, test manager will split up the requirements into several pieces of prepare to effort estimation. Based on the requirements, test manager or test lead would identify the man hours for test case preparation and execution. After the estimation is done for the test case preparation, test manager should identify all tasks which need to be executed throughout the project on daily basis for all available resources in the team. Task details, task owners, start and end dates, all together we call as a master testing schedule. Test master will use the project plan as a base document to prepare the master tester schedule document. After master test, MTS means master testing software schedule. Master testing schedule document is prepared and sent to the customer for approval. Test manager will start preparing the master tester plan. In the master tester plan, there are some following areas, some aspects to be taken into care while during the MTS preparation. Okay. So, for example, what is the purpose of master test plan? What is the scope of testing? What is the background of the application? What is the test motivators? Who are test motivators? What are the target test items? What is test inclusion? What is test exclusion? And test inclusion means what should be included in the test. Exclusions means what is to be out of the test. Test approach, that is types of testing. Entry and exit criteria for test case as well as test cycle. Deliverables, testing workflow, test environment like software or hardware, roles and responsibilities, milestones, risk and risk mitigation. The master MTS MTP will be approved after multiple review and rework work done by the offshore testing manager and necessary approvals. What is next is the test design. After the master test plan is approved, the testing team will be moving to the next phase, that is test design. During this phase, all the three listed documents will be prepared. What are the listed documents here? Test scenario identification, test case preparation, test data preparation. Okay. See, test lead will identify the test scenarios based on the requirement document, and it can be shared to the test manager for review and approval. After the test scenario is document is approved by the test manager, test lead will be mentoring the testers to write or design the test cases for the identified test scenarios with the help of test scenario and requirement specification documents. Test cases will be prepared, reviewed, and approved after multiple reviews done by the stakeholders. The stakeholders will be all customers, test manager, test lead, and business analyst. All whoever involved in that particular aspect, all will be included as a stakeholders. Before the start of the test execution, test data should be identified for all the prepared test cases. The testing team may get live data from the production database, from customer, or they have to prepare the whole set of test data for test execution. So the next is test scenario. This is a high level document that is used to prepare the test cases. The major areas of the target test items will captured here. Test cases. To verify the possible combination of values for the attributes in the functionality is called test case. The test case documentary, is like a Excel sheet which is containing columns, serial number, requirement ID, test case, test case description, repro tests, expected value, actual value, result, defect identification number. Like that, we need in this particular stage, some table will be prepared containing all these attributes. Next, test data will be used to validate the entire application, and this can be live data from the production or the one which will be prepared by the testing team. This data can be combination of positive as well as negative. Next, test coverage. See, after completing the test case design, before start the test case execution, test manager will be preparing the requirement traceability matrix, that is known as a RTM document. RTM means test case uh, requirement traceability matrix. So this RTM document is generally used to ensure the test coverage. First, all the high-level requirements should be drilled down into small low-level requirements. Then the test cases should be mapped for all the low-level requirements. All the requirements should have minimum of one test case and maximum of n test cases. If all the requirements are mapped with the test cases, then we can ensure the test coverage. If some of the requirements don't have the test cases, testing team will be preparing the test cases for those requirements and will be mapping into requirements before start the test case execution. In the test coverage case, the testing team will not miss any functionality during the testing phase from the requirement specification. See, the requirement traceability matrix RTM is can be prepared like that. Uh, there are some requirements, and according to that, the test case IDs also will be mapped. Okay. Next, test execution. So after the above two steps, that is what is test design as well as test estimation, and the next step is the test execution. In test execution, the testing team will able to identify the build verification test cases from old set of system test cases. BVIT means build verification test cases. BVIT or smoke testing is the execution of the test cases that test high level features of the application to ensure that the essential features work. These tests are performed anytime a build is released from the development team to the testing team. Failure of any of the test cases will be grounds to discontinue any further testing and to reject the build. Okay, the format will be like this. Next, technique objective. So, the happy flow of the major functionalities in application is functioning according to the baseline or signed off business requirements, BRD and wireframes, etc. technique. Test team will prepare an initial set of tests which can be executed on the major functionalities of the application. These tests on a high level these tests on a high level goes through all the pages of the application and tests all pages which will add or edit options and other navigation features are working once a new delivery is made into the test environment. The test team will do the smoke tests. If the smoke tests failed, the build will be rejected and no further testing will be done. Issues noted in the smoke tests should be fixed and a new delivery should be made into the test environment if there are no issues identified. The test team will start execution of the integration or system test cases. This is the testing objective. Okay. Next is success criteria. The technique supports the success criteria is the technique that supports the testing of all key functionalities, ensure test readiness of every new build. After BVT, what is BVT? Build build verification test case. After BVT, based on the approved test cases and test data, the testers will be doing the test case execution. When executing the test cases, the test results will be updated in the same test case document. Based on the test results, the testing team can easily identify the defects. Each test case contains the expected value, and after executing the test cases, the actual value will be produced. Then, testers will compare the actual value with the expected value to find the test results. If the expected value and actual value are the same, the test case will be considered as pass. Otherwise, the test case is said to be fail. Test log. See, this test log is a high level document of the test results. In the test result documents, we should have the test results for each and every test stage built in. But in the test log, we need to map the number of test cases with major requirements and we will have to make the results for all the requirements. In case of huge project which has more number of test cases, it will be difficult for the customer to go through all the cases one by one, know the test result. In this case, if the test game can showcase the test results in terms of requirements, it will be easy for the customer to understand and decide the coverage. Test log is nothing but maintaining a record of all the test cases which are applicable or test results in a separate document in simple words. So, defect management. Based on the test results, the testing team will able to identify the defects and those defects will be reported to the development team through the defect tracking tool like MS Excel or some vendor tools like Bugzilla, Quality Center, Request Management, Rational Clear, Quest, etc. So the structure will be like this. I am briefing the general defective workflow here. Step 1. The testing analyst or test engineer uh, will report it to the test manager. Test manager should validate the defect before assigning the defect to development team lead. Okay. And test manager will be reporting to the development team lead and development team lead will be reporting it to the developer. Okay, so like that it will follow some steps. Developer again will be reassigning the task to development team lead and development team lead again will be reassigning or ready to verify the case with the test manager. Okay, test manager again will be ready to verify, re-verify testing analyst or test engineer. So in all these cases, the last step is the test analyst will be performing the retesting on the fixed defects. So it is the defect management in the software testing. So in all the cases, the software tester is playing a major role, or test engineer is playing a major role along with the test manager. Okay, and these are the different steps. Test analyst or test engineer to again will fix the defect and report to the test manager. Test analyst or test engineer reported to test manager and reopened the task. So based on the status, if the defect is properly fixed by the development team, test manager will close the defect. Otherwise, he or she will reopen the defect to development team. It is like a, for example, we are raising some concern over the some functionality of telephone or internet management to the customer service department. So customer service department will generally assign one number or unique number known as a reference number. Okay, based on the reference number, that will be just going backward to every person who are involved in the that particular service maintenance form. Okay, next is the defect severity. Severity is based on how much the application or system is getting affected because of the defect. Defect severity is related to the health of the application. The severity is always classified by the testing team. In general, the defect severity can be classified as a either critical defects or high defects, medium defects, low defects, and informational. Okay, so after defect uh, severity is identified, defect priority will come into picture. The priority decay decides which defect should be fixed first. Defect priority is always classified by the development team. In general, we can classify the defect priority as follows: high priority, medium priority, and low priority. And defect resolution. The possible solutions can be given by the development team for the reported defects as follows: deferred, that is, defect will be fixed in the future releases. Duplicate, the defect is duplicate of an existing defect. Fixed, a fix for this defect is verified in the application and working as expected. Not a defect, the defect described is not a bug. Not reproducible, all attempts at reproducing this defect were not successful. And reading the code produces no clues as to why the described behavior would occur. Workaround, defect but could proceed with the functionality through alternative means. These are the defect resolutions. And finally, the test is closure. After all the defects are closed by the testing team, the test evaluation summary report will be prepared by the test manager and shared with the client for the acceptance. This is the test closure activity, and the test evaluation summary report, widely called as a post-mortem report. Okay. The test evaluation summary intends to gather, organize, and present the test results and key measures of the test to enable all objective quality evaluation and assessment. It describes the results of the tests in terms of test coverage, analysis, severity, and concentration of defects. So, these are the various phases involved in the software test life cycle. Okay, so what are the steps? First is review requirement or requirement study. Second one is the test initialization. Third one is the test design. Fourth one is test execution. Fifth one is defect management. And the last one is the text closure. Test closure. Okay. So if you remember these steps, you can simply explain the points which are involved in various phases. Thank you. If you are having any doubts, you can. Uh, you always welcome to approach me.